Hey guys, Gamer John here, and this is the first episode in my first series, Need to Know Champs. We're just going to take a little bit of a closer look, not too long a one, but to give people an idea of maybe some champs that kind of fly under the radar that are still pretty good. Now, they're not going to be god tier, but you can definitely get some very good use out of them. And as you can see here from the video, the first one we're going to talk about is the Hood. Now, I've got this gentleman as a 4-star and a 5-star. They're not maxed out or anything yet. I'm working on it, but I really do enjoy him. He has a really fun play style, and he's got some pretty good abilities, too. One of the things that I really like about him is the fact that you don't actually have to have him awakened. Now, his ability when he is awakened is actually pretty good. When his invisibility is in his cooldown, he becomes stun immune, which is just pretty nice to not have to worry about that. And his basic attacks there, as you can see, they have a 42.08 chance. Now, of course, that's for this one I have here that will vary based upon the signature level. Chance to steal 10% of the power. So it's kind of nice that you can go in and start hitting somebody, and you got a chance to steal a little bit of power. But once again, while it's an alright ability, you do not have to have him awakened, so pulling him as a 5-star is really nice because you don't have to worry about duping him unless you really want to. Now, a couple of things that I really like, and there will be a couple of little video clips following this as well to show a few of the abilities. When you dash backwards, you hold the block for a second and a half. He will gain invisibility for 8 seconds. As you can see here on the screen, and I'm sure you've read it already, while invisible, his attacks, there is a better chance to miss, especially from a non-contact attack, such as an Ultron Blast, a Vision Blast, Yondu's Bleed, with the Yaku arrow coming at you. So that's just quite nice. Those non-contacts, since they have double the chance, that's a 90% chance to miss. So it's almost like having a built-in invade for that 8 seconds on those kind of attacks. Also, you have a great increase in your critical damage rating and ignoring your opponent's armor. So pretty much the ideal is be invisible during a fight whenever you can, so that way you can hit harder and also be able to potentially dodge some attacks. Now, one thing I think is really underrated with him is what happens when he critical hits. He's got that 88% chance to stagger the opponent, prevent them from gaining their next buff. Now, this can be really nice on some characters that are maybe going to pop a regeneration on you, or Fury, or, for example, going up against Angela, kind of trying to keep her pinned down. When it expires, you get a little bit of health back. That's not a big thing. It's just kind of nice to keep an opponent from maybe getting something that they normally would. When you have a heavy attack, it'll refresh any shock, hex, stagger, or bleed that you've placed on your opponent, so you can kind of keep them potentially kind of stuck in a loop for a while. His special attack 1 is alright. I tend to not find using this one myself too much, but it is still nice, to deal some extra damage. You will stun your opponent for a little under a second when the shock expires. So that is nice that when that happens, kind of reminds me of Yellow Jackets. So you can at least get in a few more hits on your opponent. Special attack 2 is probably where you're going to find yourself using the most. You're going to hex your opponent and reduce their ability accuracy by 65%, and you seal them for 6.5 seconds. When the hex expires, it'll deal some energy damage that will, of course, scale based upon your champion's level, what rank they are, and if they're 3, 4, or 5-star. It'll also instantly trigger that invisibility for you, so you don't have to worry about dashing backwards. Now, that is invisibility. I apologize. That ability accuracy is going to be very helpful, keeping people pinned down on things. For example, the biggest one I always come up with is regeneration. If you can come up against like an Ultron, if you're staggered and catch him, then the ability accuracy can hopefully help to reduce things like that. So this is just definitely a couple of nice things. Now, he does also have some decent synergies as well. Unfortunately, I've yet to use the main one, which is with Dormammu, which your non-robot villain champions have that 20% to revive at 10% health when receiving a knockout blow. Now that one, if you're having a tough fight, you got them down, they just hit you, you got a chance to maybe come back to life and finish them off. So that'd be what I would definitely kind of play around with if I had it. Dormammu, which I'm still working on. So those are just a couple of little nice things that do exist about the hood. Now, of course, I'm going to follow this up with some video clips to show off a few good features and things. So the main thing that I want to show in this video here, and I know the opponent's not that tough, but is I want to show off the stagger ability. So as you can see, the stagger pops up quite a bit, and it is doing a good job of keeping the armor up boss from stacking. Now there is one thing here at the end that I really am a fan of when it comes to the stagger, is the way that it can stop somebody like a superior Iron Man or normal Iron Man, anybody like that, even Ultron. It can keep them from doing their regen. As you see, it just got rid of it the second it popped. Now this one here, you will see some very bad gameplay from me. But the main goal that I wanted to show in this was what the hood's invisibility can do against the non-contact attacks. Now, once again, I was trying to really draw it out for the sake of the video, so I did not play it that well. So what you're going to want to pay attention to here is that I get the invisibility off just in time, and then now you'll see these misses start triggering. Now I'm going to get hit a bit in here, but you can see all the misses that are occurring. So it is something that is definitely helpful. The invisibility then triggers here again, and then you hit him with a little bit of the shock. But as you can see, him attacking with these arrows. And that, in conclusion, is going to be the wrap-up of the hood video. This will be the first in the Need to Know series. Now, I know this is a bit of a short video, but I didn't want to kind of bore everybody with a bunch of stuff. Just wanted to kind of keep it straight to the point and just invite people to take a second look at maybe a champ they overlooked in the past. So, wherever you're at, hope you have yourself a nice day.